He pushed him electrocuted against the wire fence instead. The alarm went off and the word came flooding the night with a strange sound. From the other side of the frontier, they ran away, leaving the partner they believed dead behind. Lorenzo stopped for a while to have a last look at Noel's body lay standstill on the ground. "You are late," the third man said. "2 seconds before and we would catch them all." "We lost the signal," the first word arriving said. "You lost the signal?" the sneak asked. "I might lose my life. You see the kind of people I had to risk my neck with?" He said it, making a gesture of contempt to the corpse. The ward looked down, ashamed of not doing their duty. Smelling the scent of the dead, he well knew. Noel didn't breathe. "What do we do with him?" the ward said, still looking down. "The usual. I'm not interested in him. I wanted the ones that ran away thanks to you," the third man stressed. "This must be the pack idiot." "Idiot? Wasn't him the one that uncovered you?" the ward asked, looking at him right into the eyes. The third man didn't like the remark of an insolent that wasn't able of being on time to cover his mistake. He left thinking up to where he could degrade him to teach him a lesson. Noel was still on the ground. "Do we take him?" one of the wards asked. "Not today. Let the brigade come tomorrow. We didn't fry him, we don't pick him up." The word ended without looking at the dead. The following day the brigade had more work to do than pick up a useless uprised, and Noel still was at the foot of the electrified wire fences, resting on a mattress of damp dried leaves. Nobody cared about him. From the outside gave him up for lost. His body exploding against the wire netting had broken the night with a fatal thunder. From the inside they didn't know about his existence, and if they did, they shouldn't dare approach, not even to bury him. He wasn't dead. He was sleeping. The shock knocked him out. In mind state talking. In a more physical talking, it destroyed his neck and his vocal cords. It was a clean cut, almost invisible from the outside. It didn't even hurt. He realized when he opened his eyes and wanted to cry for help, since he couldn't do it, since he only could feel the silence without voice. That silence remained on him forever. Even after his surgery at the clandestine hospital they had to improvise at the stone houses, he couldn't recognize the voice coming out of his body as his. "It's a miracle," the doctor said. "I had never seen anything like this." He wasn't talking about the reconstruction surgery, but the survival after such impact. "Sure it is." "He was able to stand up, come to us. They say he's like a cat." And all Raoul said, "This cannot happen again. We cannot let someone of us dead around and not even know about it. The rurals should warn us before coming. They should warn he was knocked down." Hannah despaired. "I cannot even imagine these poor men suffering." "Let it go, Hannah. This is not our war anymore." Raoul tried to calm her down. Even he agreed with her. He knew they weren't strong enough yet to make them listen. The only thing they could do was taking care of that drawn man that stared at them, that couldn't focus the sight in one point, that studied every face trying to find a sign of familiarity. Keep the diet and change the bandage every 5 hours, not a single second afterwards. The hygienic conditions are delicate, and we don't have the medicines needed to fight infection, the doctor explained. And so they did, with punctuality well cared for, with extreme caution, with some kind of care too, but Noel didn't think it, Noel didn't do more than think about the last image before the unconsciousness. His parents on the other side, he alone in front of the traitor. The traitor he hadn't included in the group, the traitor he wasn't responsible for, the traitor he had uncovered, and he didn't get any recognition. He was lying on an uncomfortable bed, surrounded by unknown people instead. The resentment replaced his innocence, the lack of enthusiasm his risky spirit, the laziness his spontaneity. He didn't leave the city because he wasn't able of trusting his people. He kept on working with them because they were the only ones that could avoid he looking for that third man that made him grow up. For the following months he slept in intervals. He closed his eyes and felt that feeling of thunder going through him, that losing the control of his body, that inevitable defeat. During the day he muttered around the place if he clashed with somebody. He wandered around his bedroom if they didn't ask him to leave. Hannah got used to his bad temper. He understood the distance he needed to reveal himself, and maybe if she hadn't gone, he would get it. But nor Raoul knew how to fill her place, nor he was willing to try it again. His relation with Hugo was complicated. In some extent he reminded the first Lorenzo, the funny one. On the other side, he looked like that third man he wished dead. On the calmer days, he followed him. On the high-pressure days, he locked himself on the inside, not to make it worse. You're right. We run all the risks. Frank concluded, agreeing with Hugo in that we took all the credit in. Then we'd better don't get involved. Sal tried to step back. I don't see clear the profit this story will bring. I don't know how you even dare think about helping a leader's husband. Sal dramatized, exaggerating the danger. They had helped former members of the government before, and he knew they had usually done it in the past. But he didn't want to refuse Hugo that favor or feel like the traitor he was beginning to be.